Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your monthly peace report for Leo season 2025. This is the Peace Dealer. And I, I was asleep. I completely forgot I scheduled lives this week. Shout out to whoever reached out to me on X, I think. Happy Leo season. Um, I was like, what is going on? Oh, I have the lives. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the monthly tribe reports all from tomorrow to of course Friday. And then probably cosmic energy tune up. Welcome to Leo. As you can see, uh this season we're going to focus more around harvesting a breakthrough of supernatural talents. All right, shout out to Buddha AQ. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Michi the Queen, Nikki D. Um, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Okay. Show some love on the way in. Um, we're gonna really talk about the significance of a Leo season such as this and what it means moving forward, how it's going to prepare us for next year and the rest of the decade. Thank you. Thank you guys. Okay. Um that being said, it's also a great period to over the next 90 days get ready to facilitate and harness breakthrough. So we want to look at a lot of what has been done, what has been activated, what has been set up since 6 months ago, because a lot of that is what we're getting ready to harvest now. And to kind of give, this is what kind of adds more prominence to Leo being the main character, right? To Leo being this lead role character, the epicenter of quote unquote drama. What? Oh, that's crazy. Oh, okay. I was about to say. Oh, okay. Basically, as you can see, just in time for Leo season, we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, Uranus and Gemini. So it's very significant. We have these pillars here. The season started off with 20-degree conjunction of Mars and the nodes square Venus, representing irreversible change in how and what you perceive relationships and your dealings with others interpersonally are meant to be for you, for those around you. It's very subtle, and it's something that you won't really be aware of until September, but something to keep in mind. So before we really start that, let's go back in 6 months ago. Obviously, 6 months ago, January 21st, the sun was conjunct, of course, Pluto in Aquarius. And it's important to really see a lot moving forward as this activation between the sun and Pluto every year to really kind of, tap into a lot of how uniquely and how extraordinarily you will be in a position to now really venture into the supernatural. That's why the breakthrough we're harvesting is supernatural. The whole the talent, right? By the time we get to Leo in talent, the supernatural nature of these talents have a lot to do with activating this supernatural cycle at the beginning of the year. Of course, for reference, before this year, Pluto was in Capricorn. We never really had a cycle that began in Aquarius. So even last year, the conjunction was at 29 degrees Capricorn. Yeah, we might have had the opposition, the opposite Pluto, but it was, of course, activating the height of collective power. Whereas of now, we had activated, of course, this nature of supernatural energy. Okay. This is especially significant if you are an Aquarius, if you have an Aquarius rising, if you have an Aquarius sun, if you have an Aquarius moon, if you're anyone with those type of people, you're at the epicenter of this extreme awakening. You're seeing how it is causing those in humanity to be more tuned in to facets beyond the physical, or how it's influencing this unhingedness of humanity. Shout out to Young Flo. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to all of y'all. Congratulations, Nikki D. So, especially when it comes to programs like TikTok, or when it comes to programs to help you reach out more socially, the advent of Uranus and Gemini is really going to change a lot of that. Evidenced with things like the T app, right? That's kind of heavy in conversation right now. Of course, in the beginning of these transits, we're gonna see the beginning of what they look like. These new apps, these new programs, and for better or for worse, the issues they come with. But when you see and hear these things on the news, it's just the beginning. It's just like a lot of 2025 is a prototype to 2026 that's going to really push forward these new ideas very unconventionally. Okay. So as you can see, we had this activation here. It's very important because this is the supernatural activation portion. From Aquarius through Taurus, we activated. And then, of course, 3 months from then in Taurus, after manifesting the belief system around this energy, what we imagine to kind of perceive energy that's out of this world, which you would literally only be able to imagine. And then Aries, which now applied who you are and this imagination relative to your self-concept post-eclipse, right? That was activation. Then we began to integrate 3 degrees squared or 3 degree Taurus. Please do not sleep on April 23rd. That was definitely very, very, very important. Okay. Shout out to Projector Squad. All right. Taurus season was the first part of now integrating physiologically the supernatural quality of what's awakening in your mind. And that's where the Uranus rulership of Aquarius and Taurus landed that spaceship and probe, so that it can now flesh out physiologically, once again, the natural innovation of your 5 senses that enable, auto nervous facets of your body at Planck length distances, or just at small, minute levels, to align with where your mind is awakening to, how your mind is awakening. It's basically the grounding cord, because a major facet of Aquarius is cosmic energy. Aquarius is like that lightning and electricity. So Taurus is the grounding through our physical bodies as circuit boards and resistance, right? We have resistance blocks. Maybe our chakras, we could say, are resistance. This really now manufactured since 2018, the grounding of this circuit board, so that we can begin to really awaken more at an increased level. You guessed it, the supernatural. It's important to once again understand that the supernatural is out of this world. So this isn't natural energy, right? Like the bioelectricity that your brain produces. This is what through Taurus season you began to integrate with. Aquarius starts to bring us outside of the boundaries of what is considered conventional. Okay. And this is where now you're grounding higher synchronization rates, and you're facilitating experiences that enable you to put into words that which may have been sci-fi to you earlier. This is one of the most very important themes over the next 20 years, especially with Uranus going into Gemini, which will pretty much make this like Taurus made it realistic. Gemini is making it able to be communicated. Okay. And then Cancer will allow it to be felt. But I just wanted to show you that there because after we began to integrate that, boom, we went into Gemini. Okay, to finish the Jupiter and Gemini transit, evolving our mindset. This now fully expressed the true awareness of what and how we communicate what it is that's breaking through the ground through our physiological function, right? The square through Taurus. And then Cancer was now how we began to integrate this awakening together while simultaneously activating this new cycle of evolution. As we can see, that squares Saturn and Neptune. Saturn and Neptune, which are also sextiling and activating Pluto and Aquarius. So I think that's also very important to talk about. You know what I mean? Like Saturn and Neptune in Aries that are reimagining the totality of this new character. All right, new world order, new character, switching the game up. Every one of your beliefs and belief systems through Saturn and Pisces is you stepping forward in integrity to embody it in Aries, especially for you Aries risings, for you to step through, to have the responsibility to take who you believe you could be and actually take action to maintain that. And Neptune is reimagining supernaturally, all right, in a very transcendent fashion, facets of you down to you even being a human. I wouldn't be surprised if there's scientific literature moving forward to kind of confirm that not everyone is human. Like just because someone's in human form, it doesn't mean that maybe like the idea of humanity, the idea of one's identity is going to transcend a lot of the indicators that the old world had determined, for better or for worse. I mean, you'll see delusional variations of this where people will just kind of identify with what they want to identify. But I mean like a real basis with integrity that kind of now builds on or just replaces what kind of really came through. And I like that you said personality doesn't exist, because a lot of Neptune in Aries is transcending this illusion of the ego, this illusion of separation, where you have your own sense of self, but Neptune reminds you that as one liquid ocean and body, you're never really separate from someone else. And that sounds very like inspirational, but there's a real basis to this that you will see in the form of synchronicities, in the form of you thinking things and then someone else does what you were thinking, or you facilitate this. So Saturn and Neptune's sextile to Pluto and Aquarius cannot be overstated. It has not officially sextiled yet. Like none of them has made it 3 degrees. They retrograde before then, but it kind of getting ready to open up and activate this is so very crucial and will represent the outside noise, the outer influences, the structures, the infrastructure that will begin to really facilitate this new world order and era of now communicating this supernatural awakening of humanity. All right. You can call Pluto and Aquarius the corruption of humanity. You could call it the awakening of humanity. I like to see it as a bit of both. This supernatural awakening will really corrupt those who don't have integrity, who are really tapping into more knowledge outside of what's regulated, because that's what's going to happen to everyone. Similar to like a hack or a breach on the net. And you get to see who people really are when they feel like they're not put in check by authority, right? And then you have the people who this won't corrupt, and it's going to awaken so much more extraordinarily. All right. Pluto and Aqua is here to bring the tower. Natural order is disorder. So Saturn and Neptune that are 60 degrees are defining the conversation of this awakened Hades spot. representing, of course, Aquarius is your circle of friends, and Aries is you. So, like, Aquarius being that 11th house space in representation, the whole science behind Aries sextile Aquarius is show me who 5 of your friends are, 11th house, and I'll show you who you are, first house. What's in between that? The 12th house of your beliefs. So your belief systems, your self-concept, your belief in yourself is heavily influenced relative to who is around your quarter. Shout out to Esco in the building. Who is like really, especially if you're Aries rising. This is going to especially hit home because now Pluto is in your 11th house. And it's through you awakening people and being awakened through people in your corner that put you in a position to really influence you relative to the collective nature of themes around you. You know, you're going to be awakening these people to wisdom you understand, and vice versa. Could also attract a lot of drug dealer or underworld boss friends. Don't ask me why. So yeah, the sextile here is now we had a Saturnian version, but it's a very deep, extreme quality. While Saturn and Neptune are reimagining this new facet of character, Saturn, of course, and Neptune being generational will have this reflected towards the whole collective. And it's like, and the best way I could say this is the face, right? I think it's very fascinating to see in America because you see this discourse on Twitter, right? You have people who are threatened about white genocide, and they're like, look, the face of America should not be a bunch of mixed kids or darkies. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say all people are racist here too, because it's I think it's very disingenuous to kind of just say, oh, all these people are just racist and they want to see it just adds to the confusion. But it is a very solid point of discourse happening in every part of this country. What is the Aries is the face. Aries is the face. So let's go back to maybe like, you know what I'm saying? The 1996, right? The last time, you know, Saturn was in Aries. And then let's go back to maybe 71. These could represent periods of identity crisis for a country like this, right? Where it's like, okay, what is the face of this country? What is this country supposed to look like? And with the Neptune transit here, which is even more significant, right? What America looked like the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, around like the 1700s, when this was when the Declaration was signed, is not really what America looks like, really. If you think about the last time Neptune was in Aries, when Abraham Lincoln got assassinated and the Civil War happened, this is the first time Neptune is back since that date. Let's just be very clear. I think that's what makes this very significant, right? Back in the 1700s, right? Abraham Lincoln and the Yankees were fighting those in the South for a multitude of issues, slavery, of course, being one of them, right? And now that Neptune is back, Ye can say that all my niggas are Nazis, nigga, hail Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is, if you understand the level of progress we have to come into, to where back when Neptune was there, we were arguing whether black men and women could be free. And now that it's gone around, you know what I'm saying? We're arguing what is anti-Semitic or not. And then you could say anti-Semitism has still existed far beyond that date. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually very symbolic. We've seen somewhat improvements on race relations, but we've seen anti-Semitism get way worse. And I think that's something to be said about that. But, you know, that's very, 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 very significant, right? We have South Africans running a large part of this country, right? We have the idea of undocumented immigrants being deported. We have so many people being deported for criticizing the country, mainly in a bid perhaps to, restore the face of this country to what maybe some people want it to look like. But then you have a lot of people in this country, whether liberal or whether moderate, who understand that America has transformed, right? It's not necessarily built with or by the same people who founded this country, right? Relative to its controversial start in history, which every country is going to have a controversial start. But like, yeah, very fascinating. I'm not really saying this to like peddle my personal opinions or ideas. I don't want to be disingenuous, say I don't have an opinion. I really don't care. This is really fascinating plot development, because all these things will give you an idea of why, just like the last time Uranus was in Gemini, America was in World War, and the last time Neptune was in Aries, we were at Civil War. This gives you more credence now as to why a lot of this isn't just in the air. A lot of this isn't just being said. And now, of course, the integration with that square of Jupiter to Saturn, right? Now we start Leo season with the harvest. So it's about 22 minutes. And I wanted to really, of course, recap the last 6 months. If you understand that the last 6 months, of course, if you understand the last 6 months was to prepare for this harvesting of supernatural breakthrough, right? It's very important to understand and appreciate this Leo season, because now Leo season is going to have you break through like you've never before. There's the whole point of Leo season is extreme breakthrough. And the reason why things are going to just kind of unexpectedly shift for you through Virgo season is because you worked on it January up until now. So I want you to think of everything since January 21st. Shout out to my homie Mozzie. All right, shout out to you, bro. Mozzie, you have like the funniest TikToks, bro. When you're going in on the Amazon stuff, keep it up, bro. This is amazing. Where does your heart preside? Everything you've done since January 21st, right? Regardless of personal political view, the astrology is an explanation of the shakeups that are coming. You feel me? It's very important for you. Virgo season has been my favorite season the past few years. And could you imagine me liking Virgo season? Like I was never checking for Virgo season. Now I'm waiting for it every year, because Virgo does not every year during Virgo season, society just gets hip. They start to analyze the facts. Like, you lied. You said this, you lied. Like, people get sharp. People get sharp. It's restored my faith in certain aspects of humanity, because as stupid as we could be, people are not really stupid. Like, as stupid as people are in this world, people are really not stupid. And you get reminded of that Virgo season with no Virgo placements, mind you. Yes, you get reminded of that Virgo season, or people remind you, oh, they do know how to read receipts. You know what I'm saying? They do know how to read receipts. So I can't wait for Virgo. I cannot wait for Virgo season, because this is about to really remind a lot of you that people will go at lengths to completely lie to you just so that they can get at the highest levels. People will lie to you just to gain your compliance. And y'all are going to have a way of going back 3 years and detailing each and every single way of how certain people honored their promises, lied against their promises, both personal, both social, both collective. So everything you have done since January 21st, everything you have struggled through, everything that you have sowed, this is so very important, everything that you have sowed since January 21st, you should know you are reaping over the next 90 days, crazily. And the reason why I think this will really seem unexpected to a lot of you is because with Uranus and Gemini, right? With Neptune in Aries, and Saturn in Aries, and with Pluto in Aquarius, We have been so used to Pluto and Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus, Neptune and Pisces, right? A lot of these concepts, metaphorically, metaphysically, imaginatively, being planned. A lot of things that were being planned for years, like GTA 6 and Demon Slayer the movie. How many people about to see that Demon Slayer movie? Boy, I'm sorry. Let me be professional. Boy, you know that shit about to be. I'm sorry. Hold on. Anyway, a lot of these things that have been being planned, whoop, fire breathing style. My man, boy, let me tell you, I don't go to movie theaters to watch anime. I'm about to be there the first night. Anyway, I've been waiting for this. All right. Anyway, a lot of these metaphysical, imaginative concepts, that's the most important thing about this new period. We are making a hardcore flip of a switch, right? From ideological concepts to proof of concept. In fact, I really like that. There's a lot of things since 2012 with Neptune and Pisces you imagined were possible. And that's what that feminine transit was. Because now with these three pillars, it's back to this hardcore masculine movement, this hard-on thoughts movement, right? Where you're going to see, and that's why it's important that a huge level of the last decade were men and women complaining that everything's over feminized. You have people being more feminine, right? You have this catering and pandering more so to women, right? And all of that is hardcore switching back with the executive order sign. This surrender to imagination and its irrationality. We're done with that. We're going to see a hardcore shift back into the masculine. And yeah, no, I need to get a haircut. And this is the best part. And yes, the feminine is needed. Like this over feminization was very needed to its detriment too, because we're going to see the other side in the masculine side where we're going to be too masculine. And now we understood why we needed to really dive into this feminine understanding. Okay. No one is going to be harder on this over feminization than women. I think that's going to be, you would expect men to just kind of like, boom, we back. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this. You can't do that. It's going to be, it's going to be whatever as usual, right? You're going to be surprised to see the woman who also kind of adopt this more than not. The woman who did not speak up during the past phase, who speak up during this phase, some even being the same woman. So I want to kind of show you how this transcends even these gender wars you're seeing, which do primarily play out between male and females, but it's so much deeper here. It's definitely about balance, as you'll see. And with I want to make sure we're clear. You had synchronicities. The reason why we needed that deep feminine transit was to build structures around what we believed as a collective was possible, around what we could really charge and build physiologically, right? Mainly with the Pisces, because the Pisces energy or perspective is what enabled a lot of this identity politics, where we can identify with what we believe in. And now Saturn, Neptune, and Aries is, okay, you believe in it, but actualize it. Really demonstrate the fact that you identify with this and that's who you are. Because people who are able to demonstrate that, regardless of what you identify with, that's what you're going to be able to move forward with. People who aren't, this eclipse with the retrograde back into Saturn Pisces is going to reevaluate your belief systems. Whether you want to move forward delusionally to your detriment, or you want to really, really apply something that's actually real. Okay. So why you want to be excited? These three pillars here, right? A lot of the theories, a lot of the beliefs you've had, we're moving from definition of concepts to proof of concept. What I want you to see: Pluto, Aqua, Neptune, Aries, Saturn, Aries, Uranus, and Gemini, proof of concept. A lot of you are going to take synchronicities, supernatural activity that you felt was possible, and you're going to establish proof of concept. Chances are, as of now, you have already done just that. And I want you to comment proof of concept if you might have already begun to develop this, even a few years ago. What do I mean? I believe I can move stuff with my mind. That means by July and August of this year, you have already, like, what this means to be at the 0 degrees means that at an initial degree, you did this. You moved it a bit. You have proof of concept, right? You thought something in your head, and you were able to use mind reading, right? You were playing roulette, and you're like, you know what? I can know what the number is. And you heard 14, and you played 14, and you should, oh shit, this is real. Every single one of you have had this. And that's what makes this period revolutionary. I'm using supernatural abilities, but this could be with the most mundane stuff too. Like, I can wake up without an alarm clock. Oh my God, I just proved it to myself. Some of you are doing proof of concept to quitting drug addictions or addictions cold turkey, right? Or even with moderation. Like, I could really kick this habit, proof of concept. Okay, this is so very important, because at this initial degree, what's proof of, if you commented proof of concept, this is why you need to get excited and be very patient with yourself, because everything that you had proof of concept before, right? By the time Saturn is 29 degrees Aries by 2027, Uranus by 2032 with Saturn is at the end of Gemini, and in 20 years from now, by the time Pluto's in Aquarius, what you've done proof of concept with, telepathy, with, and the telepathy we're going to talk about too. The telepathy has been so much smoother. A lot of that is because it's broken out of the earth sign to build. What it did is, like, when you build power lines, you have to build the infrastructure. That's what Pluto and Capricorn, Uranus and Taurus did. Once the infrastructure is built and you have the power lines, boom, then we can make calls. That's what's actually happening in air. You're starting to smoothen over what your body built through these neural pathways in picking up collective frequencies. But by the time these are at the end, what you did with proof of concept, you have mastered. So for every single one of you who commented proof of concept, it's important that you know that's just the beginning. By the time you finish these transits, you've mastered. It's no longer proof of concept. It's like, oh, I can move this with my mind wherever I want to. So 1 degree Saturn, 0 degree Uranus, Gemini, 3 degree Pluto, Aquarius. I like move it a little bit. It's like, by the time the transit's over. So that's very important. You've already proven the concept. You're going to continue to break through. And every year that we have this awakening, it's going to step deeper. This is where, once again, for those of you practicing the law of assumption, you're going to see a lot of breakthroughs. Young Flo especially does amazing videos talking about this with wealth, as well as Buddha AQ. For those of you who aren't just out here talking it, you're living it, you're pushing yourself, you're gaining frustration, you're breaking through frustration. It's important to know a lot of reason why this Leo season alone is going to unexpectedly break through a lot. Has a lot to do with what you've done since January 21st. And even last year, since 2024. I think that's very significant. Don't discount the proof of concept because it looks like a little mustard seed. Remember, small little seeds grow the greatest of trees. And that's what you're in the process of doing. I would be very excited. I'd be very excited. Some of you, this proof of concept you did And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This proof of concept you achieved proves you're set for life. You just need to develop this. All right. You just need to develop this, and it's going to naturally develop. And this is where the telepathy comes in. What you're noticing at a much greater, extraordinary level, which there's a good reason for. So you don't want to look at yourself as a victim. There is a collective unconscious plot to have you feel and seem like you're the dumbest fucking idiot ever alive. And if you fall for it, you may lose sight of the fact that it's happening to literally everybody. So you don't want to necessarily feel like you're being singled out. This is a collective influence that some people will integrate and other people will fold to the pressure. So it's like the ideas that are having you break through into this next version of yourself that enable you to adopt ideas that leave the old world. We are moving out of the old world consciousness and into new world consciousness. A lot of the themes of the old world that used to stick, a lot of the manipulation. Oh, you can hear that, Ancient Rose? Yeah, I have like a lo-fi music playing in the background. All the stuff that's there represents a collective unconscious that wants to purport a shame, guilt matrix. So it's like at the most subjective, indirect level, if you can be convinced to not believing what you're doing, if you can be convinced to think that you have to be flawless in your execution, when you just at this stage need to just go in the right direction, knowing your steps will be guided and you will correct your steps. It's not about correcting your steps right now. It's just moving in that right direction, right? If you're able to get your mind changed, day one. If you're able to not trust this intuitive facet and unseen facet of yourself, it is the core level with which cannot be reached or breached. These people cannot take this from you. So the best they could do is gaslight the shit out of you to make you feel that you can't trust yourself and knock you out of your flow state. This could be done by feigning stupidity, by feigning ignorance, by acting, by giving you weird faces like everything you're saying is weird, by having you distrust yourself. This is happening to a lot of people. It's not just the psychotic, mental ill, hallucination, auditory visual hallucination part are going to be the people who project this experience onto others and act like it's just happening to them. This is a collective influence. It's just the nature of the energy. This is the consequence of so many frequencies coexisting in the same place. Yeah, you could argue that a lot of this is deliberate, but I don't want to take it to that level yet. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. Sorry, my ears have been really weird. This ear, I've been healing this ear. It's whatever. You ever try and like pop an ear perpetually? That's what's been happening. That being said, so all you have to do is just maintain the direction you're going, knowing that when it's time to correct your steps, call yourself out for what you could do better. You do it. Okay. Especially because the level of capability you're getting ready to break through into is going to feel like a sci-fi fantasy movie. And that's why these proof of concepts are very important, because they're making you more aware of giant gulps of water. They're making you more aware, realistically, of the way you've been conditioned to see less than yourself. The way you've been conditioned to rely on certain authorities for moving through. 2027, baby. The Peace Dealer Live Meetup Tour. I want to do my first event 2027. And the rest of this year and next year, just, simple meetups randomly. I'm gonna just show up in your city with no notice and just see who's there. But I want to do the first like actual event 2027. Give myself time, make it really good. That's the goal. I kind of want to do Vegas, but I mean we could do multiple locations. It depends on how my budget is. That being said, yeah. Of course, and that's of course the plan moving forward. Like if we could really build community, at least amongst ourselves, to where we could touch base at kind of pull resources together. But I'm not really rushing that. That's just ahead of time the grand goal. But we will get there. We will be partying in that room that we've done manifestations with for so long. But yeah, a lot of this proof of concept is going to get ready to push forward. And now the unadulterated confidence, the unadulterated belief in yourself is a huge threat towards the collective unconscious net that gained leverage from you not believing in yourself. Because a lot of this proof of concept, it's kind of literally like when Kanye West was being interviewed. It's like, I just told you who I thought I was, a god, right? Think of the society that tells you you can't think of yourself as any way outside of what we've collectively agreed you are. And that's why I'm saying the idea of humanity is outdated. The idea of, oh, well, these scientists that we collectively agreed are right. Nothing is really real like that. Everything that you think is true was really just collectively agreed upon. There's been the hugest conflation around collectively agreed upon principles and truth, when realistically, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone hallucinates their conscious experience. So like certainty is the biggest illusion. Unless you have or an Aquarius, no one knows anything. Like only the universe knows. Like the knowledge, true knowledge is all of our brains connected at once, right? We're coming into everything. So this is where a lot of things you accepted under duress, under society just telling you that's what it is, you are starting to break through the fact that it was never true. This is that collective unconscious pressure on you. That's why a lot of you are feeling the psychic attack or pressure, because a lot of you are breaking through the boundaries of what you were told to be, of what you are expected to be. And that does not allow others to manipulate you, to put pressure on you. They're going to lie to you and say, take accountability, take responsibility, where they conflated and nuanced the term accountability to mean you have to agree with the way we agree with things, or else you're not taking accountability. Do not get fooled. A lot of people have inverted and twisted these good principles just to keep you under their thumb. And that's what breakthrough is. Your unmitigated gall and audacity to decide to walk the direction of your greatest authenticity, what's actually true to you, versus a vision of what other people are comfortable seeing you as. There's certain things I believe, and this could be applied towards me. There's certain things I believe that, you know what I mean, people might believe I am limiting their idea, and it applies to me too, where a lot of my beliefs, a lot of what I think people are will be completely challenged. So I'm not trying to say it's just one way. It's just by someone's integrity, you'll be able to tell whether they're open to shifting their perspective or just projecting on you that you're the problem. And trust me, this is very sinister. This is very evil energy. This is a dying old world that wants to hold on to power at any cost. If we want to like project and give a form to what this collective unconscious villain energy is, right? That being said, a lot of harvesting this breakthrough is going to have a lot to do with everything since Aries season that you have worked to activate in your individuality, these new tenets, these new principles. and this proof of concept. So now that we've kind of broken that down, let's really get into, you know, the report. For those of you who would like reading, you are welcome to click the description box below to join the queue. You could also join my app. The minimum is $30 for a transit interpretation. I have my Cash App, my Venmo. Email the chart to me or your sun, moon, and rising, and then I will do that. I also still have my readings discounted now. They're like slightly cheaper for any of you who would like a reading. If you want a transit forecast or a reading about this Leo season, holla at your boy, 5-star general. We out here. You guys who have left testimonials for me are the greatest beings walking on this planet. You have no idea how much I'm grateful for you, for your honest feedback. And that being said, okay, moving forward, this Leo season ideally is now the active breakthrough of your talent supernaturally. This is what's going to challenge a lot of what you've been taught as a kid. A lot of what you've been taught was possible or impossible because now you're facilitating the impossible. Okay. And the beautiful thing is, don't be perturbed if you manifested something, if you made it happen, but then you did it, right? It's like you might lift 300 pounds, but then it takes you a while to lift it again. You can't immediately lift it after because you still need to build that muscle. You still need to get used to lifting greater pounds. And it's so amazing because people do not treat magic the way they treat working out, which is ludicrous. People treat magic like a quick fix solution. People treat the supernatural like it's the opposite of the mundane repetition when it works the same way. You know what I mean? Like you can't expect to just immediately lift a weight in the gym that you haven't built up to. You can't just immediately expect to manifest something your mind isn't prepared to accept your worth. Is it possible? Yes. But just like you have to be in the gym every day, hitting those push-ups, you have to be in the gym of your mind, working on your thoughts. A lot of people don't want to do this work. When you tell people that they have the power from within them, when you tell people that they have the ability to change their life, they want a quick fix solution. When you give them the tools and just say, yes, just think as if it's there, think as if it's done, they can't maintain it because they can't convince themselves that it's that easy. That puts responsibility on their shoulders to make it happen. They can't blame anything. They have to realize, look, it's happening because of me. That's a big step for people to take that some will never really make. Versus people who take control and are like, no, bitch, I'm wealthy as fuck. I don't care if I have negative amounts in my account. I'm putting in that work in order to rewire my brain. A lot of people do not want to really overcome years worth of telling yourself bullshit. Think about how unconsciously you've told yourself, oh, I'm not worth this. Oh, this is hard. Life has to happen hard. And somebody is walking up to you and telling you, look, just shut the fuck up and change the way you talk to yourself. Literally just believe you have it. It's so hard for people to take power that belongs to them. This is how deeply conditioned and brainwashed you have been since a child, since you go to school and you're told or influenced to do this. I know because I was I was super stubborn with this. It's hard for me to get angry at people being stubborn because I was stubborn like this too. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to believe it was really that easy. Okay? And a lot of people feel guilty really accepting that it's really that easy. It's so sad. It's so sad. People would rather just feel, and they identify with being victimized. They identify with being the loser. Oh, this is happening to me because of this. This is happening to me because of this. When you really could just be like, no, I have this because I'm really him. I'm really her. Okay? That's just really the facts. And your willingness to be in the mental gym creating that thought process, really creating these beliefs, turning them into thoughts in Gemini, turning them into habits in Virgo, visualize it until it happens. Most people won't do it until it happens. You start saying, why hasn't it happened yet? Why would you say that it hasn't happened yet when it's here and now? There's a deep-seated reason why people are so comfortable being the villain or the victim. It's just easier. It's just easier. If magic was easy, everyone will be a motherfucking magician. Everyone will just be doing spells. That's why the best magicians, wizards, and witches have gray hairs. It's years put into this shit. Magic is a discipline that's like medicine. You need years put into this shit. It's not a developed field. And that's where some of you guys are really cutting yourself short. You're letting this world and society around you, a bunch of fucking muggles, tell you that you're not unique and that you haven't put in work because they have no idea the magnanimity of what you're doing. Contemplate the fact that most people get into fields of work that have already been established. When you drive on your highway, that road has already been paved through. It's already been marked with government resources, collective resources. You feel what I'm saying? You've already had people before you that have already shown you how to do this. Law, medicine, these are fields that not only demand accreditation, but have centuries worth of research institutions. All of the scientific fields have been paved for you. You're not reinventing the wheel when you study science. If you go to college, you have a database that has years worth of peer-reviewed research. So anyone studying that, you're already working with a paved road with infrastructure and employment opportunity as is attached with that. You didn't do that by yourself. You already had the information curated to be taught to you. Okay? And that's a beautiful thing. And even that doesn't make it easy for some people to pioneer and innovate it. But that makes it more important for those of you who are doing something where the road hasn't been paved, especially if you're an astrologer, especially if you read tarot, especially if you're a practicing magician. You're in a field that the road has not been paved. There are no research institutions that actively support this. You have mainstream elements calling it pseudoscientific, working against it. So for you to thrive or actually sustain in a field like this is mind-blowing. You have to literally be a genius. You don't have research institutions. You have people with their own independent journalism. You have to start from scratch in whatever time era you're in because you're constantly being antagonized by other people in established fields. You have to go off of your own research. You have to learn on the fly if it was not, if it wasn't inherited down to you from your family. I have nothing but respect for people who now, on top of that, it's not an accredited field. So any bumblefuck can just scam and fraud people because they're goddess Isis 556. I'm going to read your tarot. I'm going to read your astrology. You can't do that in law. You can't do that in medicine. You can't doctor love your way into just curing people. You're going to get arrested. All right. So really keep that in mind. A lot of the people telling you, 100% of people telling you that the craft you spent over a decade doing and demonstrating is real and helps people don't know what the fuck their chart ruler is. They can't tell you what their moon sign is. They've never given anybody a reading. They're completely clueless. Their education system has failed them concerning that. And you are the pioneer. And I'm just using astrology as an example. For some of you, this could be a type of metalsmithing. For some of you, this could be a type of engineering. This could be something that has not been explored. You are the proof of concept for that. You are, you know what I'm saying? The breakthrough of this. And it's a lot to be said as far as now for those of you who maintain this rewiring of your brain. I want you to comment an exclamation mark if you have been feeling that resistance towards maintaining this new mindset, right? When you say, oh, I'm filthy rich, I'm fucking rich as fuck, and then you hear this telepathic, which is really just an unconscious projection. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not a god. No, you're not divine, right? If you're hearing that, what you're doing is working. See, a lot of people will feel that resistance, become bitch made, and stop. You are actively hearing the collective conscious talk shit on you because they're used to what they have put you in that box. You starting to get out of there intimidates them. This shame guilt matrix is them hating because you're a threat. God forbid you elevate out of the box you put yourself in. That is the most important part of this process. If you did not feel this, everything works in my favor. If you did not feel this, it wouldn't be working. Collective shade room. Yes. For those of you who comment an exclamation mark, this is the most important sign that it's working. Whenever you play a video game and you level up in that video game, you come into more enemies. You're emitting this frequency. I am perfect, right? I'm filthy rich. That frequency is going to emit a counter frequency of others, and whether it's real or not, this collective frequency of what goes against that frequency. It is a threat to that frequency because now you're inadvertently and indirectly changing that facet of beliefs, and they're going to pressure back. And that is a good thing, so that you stand your two and say, no, bitch, I'm filthy rich. Bitch, I'm perfect. I just told you who I thought I was. Oh, God. Now hurry up with my damn croissants. And this is where, shout out to Buddha AQ, the more delusional. Are you actually being delusional? No. But in the context of what is considered normal, outside of that box, being delusional, that's where you have to be delusional. The more you can actually operate outside the box and think outside the box, the more you twist a lot of that pressure against you to work for you. You have people who you're using that resistance to work for you because it strengthens your intent, right? It's like sharpening a sword. You're putting it against pressure. So when you hear that, you say your intentions more fiercely, like, no, I am. And you're going to see a lot of the insecurity seep out of others who gain leverage, seeing you as less than you are. It's infuriating them. They're punching their fist in the air because this is the power they cannot take from you. Okay? A lot of things you do that go against people's belief systems. A lot of people will be angry at you, not because not because they care about you. You just go against their belief systems, and they'll lie to you. They'll be like, I'm doing this because I care. They don't give a fuck about you. They want to maintain their beliefs. They don't want to experience cognitive dissonance. And so they have to project on you that you're the problem. Okay. Now, in the case where you are at fault, of course, you switch it up. You call yourself out, you put it in integrity. This is just presupposing you're in integrity here. This is very important. For those of you who commented proof of concept, and for those of you who commented exclamation marks, you're set for life. Let me just give you the TLDR. Spoiler alert, you're set for life. The fact that you're here means that it's worked, and you just have to make it there. Okay? Continue to feel this pressure, but all of this is false energy appearing real, whatever that acronym is. And You're getting ready to now develop the strength and courage through Leo to show you how strong you are. And that's that boss battle where you're performing. Leo is the stage performer. You're performing to this collective consciousness, like who really won it? Because now the next level is to use fear. Pluto is this extreme fear of, oh, okay, you're limitless. Oh, okay, you're perfect. Oh, okay, well, what if we show up, right? What if we try and kill you? And this is where, if you're not really ready to die like Biggie Smalls, give up right now. Give up right now. If what you want moving forward, right, you're not willing to die for, just fold. Just fold. Because I'm gonna let you know right now, there's nothing more petty than a collective that's been proven wrong. That now has to feel justified, right? Thank you, Zazu. I already died before. You know you died when you died to the version of yourself that accommodated everything that isn't you. So you already born again. So very important. For those of you who have the courage, Leo, to look fear in the eye and not back down, you've won for life, forever. No, there's no amount of money that you can pay for that. That is an intrinsic value. Most people will fold and pay all sorts of money to whatever. If you can do that, you have won in life, I fucking promise you. And I'm very honored to be even talking to you right now. Like so, okay? This is the most important thing I could say about this, because you're going to get so much disparaging comments about your ego, about, oh, you're a loser. Oh, you're a lame. You still believe this. You still doing that. No one who's secure in themselves, no one who's actually powerful in themselves exhibits behavior like that. Powerful people and strong people do what they can to build other people up. They will call you out on your bullshit, but they will build you up. It's only weak people who try to break people down, to look above them, to put people in their place. Oh yeah, this is it. Only weak people do that. Only weak people who lack self-esteem and have no security in themselves need to do that. Why is this important? It's black and white. Stop making excuses for the people who you see doing that. They're a weak ass bitch. They're a weak ass bitch. Tap your neighbor and say, hey, that's a WLB. That's a weak little bitch. Tap your neighbor on the side and be like, hey, they have SLBS. They have stupid little bitch syndrome. They have Agent Smith syndrome. Are you tolerating SLBs into your life when you are elevating? Jupiter in Cancer is evolving your psychic body. Okay? Very important. And anybody who acts off the notion that you are less than you are, I don't care if I'm making $5 million a month. If I see a janitor who's making fucking chicken change, and I look at that janitor as less as they are, as, oh, you're not at my level. You know what I'm saying? You're nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just work this. I'm a bitch. I'm a weak little bitch. If I needed my status to feel better than an honest, hardworking person, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what I'm talking about. Anybody who sees you as less than you are is a weak, stupid little bitch. And you want to really examine how much you entertain and enable said weak, stupid little bitches to really influence and determine what it is you do, when you should be commanding them because they're already weak and stupid. So with that being said, okay, this is how we start off this new moon. As of now, the moon is in Virgo. Of course, as I went through with the Leo new moon ceremony, we kind of talked about the new moon to full moon. So you're definitely more than welcome to check that out again if you want the new moon to full moon recap. We are, of course, going to kind of break this down a little bit more. So as of now, the moon is in Virgo. You're understanding more of this proof of concept. You're understanding how you're activating and manifesting the perspective of these supernatural talents. Every single talent that you have right now, right? You are harvesting more supernatural quality around it. Okay. Every single skill and ability that you've been developing, you're getting ready to take it to the next level, especially as we get into next year and the year after. All right. So that being said, with Mars getting ready to leave Virgo, this is going to really master a lot of the MO around how you're going to be moving, how you integrate and tie everything together. And Venus getting ready to go into Cancer is going to deepen a lot of this activation of the polishing of your individuality. How much deeper you really connect with other people. All right. And even, with yourself. So let's do it. Let's do it. As we move forward, of course, we know the moon will be in Libra. We're going to continue to activate this cycle, directing this social context opposite Saturn and Neptune. And then what we want to see is the Mercury Sun conjunction. This is going to happen while we're integrating the new moon. Okay. So August 1st, the very 1st of August, Mercury and the Sun are going to conjunct. This, of course, is important because as your brain is reevaluating, right, a lot of how much courageous you want to be, activating more of this proof of concept, the moon in Scorpio is going to have you integrate more so the depth. I'm glad you guys like the background music. I wasn't sure if it was going to be distracting. The depth and the psychoanalytical understanding of how to tie together this courage. Okay. Where's the thing that pops up about the readings? You could really just click the description box below for those of you who would like a reading once again. And yeah, that being said, this is going to start to integrate what we've activated. Once again, I'm very aware that some people look at what I do and may lose respect for me, right? Oh, this dude's a scammer. This dude's he's reading astrology. That's for the girls. You know what I mean? He reads tarot. I don't pay that any mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this stage of my life, I don't take offense to that. I really don't care, because 100% of people saying that don't know their chart ruler. Literally cannot tell you the degree of their moon, will not think that that's important, do not consider themselves illiterate because they don't know that. And 100% of people who do know they shit and have actually been serviced by me will tell you I'm him for real. Like, I'm really good at what I do. So like that, I had to work for. I had to actually establish on God they are ignorant. So I'm not going to argue with the ignorant person, because that's going to make me foolish as well. Even if they're in the majority, my sense of self-esteem is not affected by a dum-dum who don't know their chart ruler. No offense. How your age, you don't know your moon sign. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. I'm not arguing with you. You are not 5 stars on Google. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, the way I can say this is the way a lot of you guys could be saying this, right? What is it like being a guy designing jewelry? It's such a fucking crazy question, considering the idea of metalsmithing. Like that's a very fucking crazy question to ask in 2025. That's really fucking sad. All right. I am no longer in El Paso right now. But yes, once again, you know what I'm saying? I became way more in tune with my surroundings by astrology. That's for the girls. Thank you. It's really just how much stupider people have become over time, because it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. That being said, you know what I mean? That confidence that carries forward will light the way for people who need to see your archetype, for people who have been manifesting you, because you get manifested too. And as Mars goes into Libra, that's going to now take this integration of how you take action, and it's going to start altruistically applying it. It's going to be a part of this breakthrough, as you will see here, especially with Mars that will trine Pluto. All right. So this conjunction is very important. It's a huge epiphany. It's going to click a lot of that proof of concept, and it's going to give you a deeper psychological understanding of how you're tying all of this supernatural breakthrough of talents together. It's going to intensify a lot more the process, especially square Pluto, trine Venus, right? We're getting ready to go back into Pisces. So by the time we fully express now with the moon in Sagittarius, boom, you're coming into a higher perspective and bird's eye view, showing you how you can fully express this courage. We're going to integrate all of that, of course, with the moon in Capricorn, tie all of that together, utilizing this sense of energy. And that's where, boom, we harvest the harvest. By the time the moon is in Aquarius, we now are supernaturally harvesting this supernatural breakthrough of talent. This is where now, coming up until August 9th, is very powerfully preparing you like never before to be put in a position to once again powerfully and very realistically prepare you to, of course, come into advanced, unconventional knowledge around how you are socially expressing yourself and performing. Moon in Aquarius is now giving you an audience understanding. The Leo is you breaking through on stage. You're performing. You're getting used to this next level of performing. You got new clothes. Jupiter's in Cancer. You're not wearing the same wardrobe you used to perform on stage with. And when the moon is in Aquarius, you're now understanding your performance like you're sitting in the audience. And that's what that opposition is, right? The Pluto conjunction is not only going to coincide with this grand air trine with Uranus and Mars. Once Mars starts to trine Uranus, and of course, Venus starts to square Saturn, this is, of course, going to begin to break you through further into the unconventional integration of applying these ideas. So Uranus in Gemini at just 1 degree has really radicalized a lot of how much more genius you think. And Mars in Libra is going to have you take action towards others based off of that, tying into this supernatural understanding and awakening. So this is definitely moving forward from August going to be very quintessential, especially with the opposition of Mars to Saturn and Neptune. Mercury, that's going to kind of retrograde to bring our brains towards this, will also do a lot to tie this budding epiphany relative to your greater understanding of this. Okay. So, by the time the moon is in Pisces, this knowledgeable understanding of what you've broken through and how is going to transform your beliefs around what's possible to achieve on stage. The moon in Aries is, of course, going to show you now updated relative to what has shifted, who you are on stage, how this understanding of yourself directs more the strength and courage you express on stage. Mercury is going to go direct. Boom, boom, boom. And then, of course, moon in Taurus, we complete the transit by understanding the individual value of your performance socially. All right. By this period from full moon to moon in Taurus, you will have broken through this proof of concept. This is where you're going to start to really experience milestone victories and breakthroughs that you've been working hard for, I would say, since the beginning of the year. Okay. And what this sets the stage for is the eclipse in Virgo, where through Sagittarius season, you're going to experience how you've broken through. So Leo season is you breaking through. And then Virgo season is you detailing, oh, this is what's changing. This is what's really changing. True change is Gemini. Real change is Virgo. This is what's really changing. This is how it's really changing. And then Sagittarius at the end of the year, you're going to see the meaning behind the breakthrough you achieved. oh, this is what this means. This is how I was able to turn this into reality. You know what I mean? So get very excited. Is this Mercury retrograde going smoothly for anyone so far? This one isn't challenging me so far. This one isn't that challenging for me so far. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really gone through crazy tech glitches or whatnot, but I think it depends really on what it's hitting with other people. Really good question. That being said, by the time we close this transit off, the moon's going to go into Uranus. It's going to really kind of give you a sneak peek of this innovation that you can apply and who is truly in your corner. These are going to be the true rewards that are going to be unconventionally, unexpectedly attained. Then we're going to have the balsamic phase, right? So that you are releasing old feelings now with Venus polishing how deeply and beautifully you could feel, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to end Leo season off. Can you see? We're finally going to start the seasons off with the new moon. And it didn't really take that long too. Okay. Boom, shakalaka, baby. Okay, come on now. Don't do me like that. Well, as you can see, we're going to end the season off with the new moon. Okay, shout out to Janarian. So this is going to be very beautiful. Guys, I told you that I'm going to end the membership on August. I lied. I want to really make sure that everyone who's a YouTube member switches over to the app. So I don't want anyone to be lost in translation. So I'm going to keep the membership up until we have made sure everyone who wants to be on the new app is on the new app. I want to make sure I reach out to everyone who's still a member here so we can have that powerful transition. And once we do that, then I'll end the membership. But just a reminder, I do have my application. If you click the description box below, supernatural.passion.io. All right, look at this. Look at this Mercury retrograde. Just when I was talking about Mercury retrograde mishaps. This is crazy. All right. Regardless, we're going to end the season off with the new moon. I want to just say once again what an honor it is for me to do this. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check them out, bro. Are they on DSPs or are they just on SoundCloud? Let me know. I'll check your Instagram to see where they're dropped. But like, yeah, dude. Once again, I've been behind the computer screen a lot, but I've been connected with real people. I don't want to just go out there and just meet people. I want to run proper events. Proper events have a budget, right? And as my budget allows, I will go out and do there. Is money the excuse for me? Do I need money to go out there? No, but I want to put value into what we're meeting. I don't want to just be out there and mooch and leash off people. I want to put value. I want to actually create stuff that is memorable, that we can catalog, document. So that's why I'm taking my time. Esco, I'm bringing you with me, bro. Don't think I forgot. Yep. We go relink the team. I want to build community. I don't want to just sell you events. I don't want you to just be like, pay this money to come to my event. I want every time we meet, we're building. You know what I'm saying? Like we're planning stuff. We're actually creating something. So I know when the time comes, we're gonna do this. Thank you for your patience with me. I'm not social. I'm not Leo. I'm not Libra. I focus on one-on-one connections. And over 10 years, you know, I have astro.com accounts with thousands of charts. I have receipts. My orders is like in the 7,000s. I've created a lot of one-on-one connections with you guys. And just know I don't plan to just exploit that and to just kind of preach to you behind a computer screen. But, you know, not everyone has a travel budget. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. I do believe after this year, you know, we set for life. So as we break this through, as the budget increases, we'll be able to manifest more this shared presence together. But just to let you know, once again, where this is at, and you supporting my app greatly helps with that. Okay. As you can see, I've scheduled a lot of, oh, wow, that was quick. I've scheduled a lot of the next reports accordingly. next week is going to be pretty fire, guys, because I'm going to have my new lineup of videos for you guys who've been missing Mercury through the signs, Venus through the signs. We back, baby. Shout out to Chad the Maverick. He's been also kind of editing some of those videos. The Mercury and the signs videos that I shot with Esco like 3-4 years ago, finally being put out. I shot Venus, Mars, and Mercury like last month or 2 months ago. I wanted to do it once a week for like 2 years, but I'm gonna just be hitting you with content, baby. So every Monday, a Mercury videos. Every Tuesday, a Mars video is coming out. Every Wednesday, a Mercury video is coming out. Every Thursday, a Jupiter video is coming out. Every Saturday, boom. I have the astrological profiles episode 1 and 2. You guys are gonna love that. For those of you who've checked that out, that's gonna drop on YouTube. I have it already scheduled. And I'm gonna work on the first 2 World War Z episodes today for season 2. So I hope you guys like that as well. Other than that, you guys stay blessed as always. Mainly, the most important thing I want to really establish is, first of all, if you're here, you're the shit. You're amazing. You're incredible. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for listening to this, right? And also, please understand the whole purpose of this season is breakthrough. That's it. If you're starting something new, beautiful. Activate that. Stick with it. Stick with it through Virgo season of consistency. Because everything you do now, Virgo season, September and October, you will thank yourself for the rest of your life. This is the breakthrough, breakdown or breakthrough. You're either going to fold or you're going to break through. As it gets more difficult, you become harder. As it gets harder, you become harder. Oh my God. Okay. So that being said, know that what you have been working towards is here. You're not going to break through. You are breaking through. And the nature of how you develop your talents is going to take on a sci-fi quality. It's going to take on a fantasy quality because you are beyond the physical. You are beyond what is conventionally real, and you're going to begin to shape that. Okay. Similar to now what the detailed analysis of how this works. We'll get there Virgo season. We're going to unlock the eclipse from September back to March of 2026 to finish out this Virgo Pisces eclipse period. But congratulations. Remember, nothing is impossible for you. You made it here. Keep pushing. Okay. And we do have the 10 of Wands. Once again, this is Mars and Leo, I believe. So delegate, right? But keep pushing. This is the consequences of success, getting swamped with orders, and this is not backing down. You have people that want you to back down on your knowledge of self, that want you to be less than you are. That for those of you who commented the exclamation marks, you are not fucking backing down. Okay? You're standing your ground. It doesn't matter whether people want to make fun of what you're affirming, what you're manifesting. They're not manifesting for you. You're manifesting for you. Okay? So, last card I want to pull, Strength card. This really speaks for itself. This is Leo in Leo season. You're going to recognize that you're stronger than you could ever realize, and you can sustain your passions. You don't have to put aside what you love to do something more realistic. What you're passionate about is what's realistic. Okay? So that infinite energy formula is going to flow through. Be prepared to accomplish things you never thought possible and to see the beginning of that breakthrough. Okay? And I guess we can end here. You guys stay blessed as always. We're going to kind of resume tomorrow with the monthly Fire Tribe report. So for Aries, Leo, and Sag, we'll break down what this Leo season is for you guys. And until next time.